But he was flying around all day. Like, there was
I thought it was going to get blown out of the sky
gotta
because
keep
it was
company.
so close to the fireworks.
well, she normally has like this phone hooked to the control. He had somebody else
Eddie and Ginger would like that.
because he was really focusing on keeping the drone in the air, and I guess the other guy
I'm
was
sure.
like left or right.
Okay. It was pretty neat.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
I got so many compliments about it.
They're peanut
Yeah,
butter.
I didn't have any cancer management, so.
Peanut butter.
Do you want to look through these?
I was impressed.
Can I take it home or do I?
Yeah, you can look. I mean, take it home.
Take it home and then drop it back
Yeah.
off? I might be able to pick it out now, because I know exactly what I want.
I wonder how Chief and Al got the beer duty. They were in the beer tent all
Yeah,
night.
how'd that work out?
Yeah.
You do?
Get to know people.
I think so.
We got the car. We need to talk about that.
I'm going to go ahead and call the Wednesday, September 3rd, 2014 City Council meeting to order. I ask you to rise for the reading of our invocation and our pledge, which will be done by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Our Heavenly Father, give us the long view of our work and our world. Help us to see that it is better to fail in a cause that will ultimately succeed than succeed in a cause that will ultimately fail. May your will be done here, and may your program be carried out above all personality and for the good of the people of the city of Oldsmar. This we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and once again, welcome. You'll notice that we're one man down. Councilmember Ronecker is out today. He had a birthday celebration that he had previously planned prior to us appointing him to temporary fill Janice Miller's spot, so he is not here tonight. We wish him a happy birthday. Our first item is the Citizens Open Forum. We only have a couple of rules. Keep it to no more than 5 minutes. State your name and address clearly for the record, and do not speak towards anything on tonight's agenda. Having said that, it's a small crowd. We'll just go to the open room. Go, yep. We know you're on a tight schedule.
Yes, I am. Unfortunately, Safety Harbor has their meeting the same night. It's very interesting. I'm Janet Hooper. I'm Executive Director of the Maddie Williams Neighborhood Family Center. My personal address, however, is 601 5th Street South, Safety Harbor. I just want to do my normal annual report about how we've served the Oldsmar residents this year. I think I gave you a pretty thorough presentation talking about some numbers. I think some of the most interesting things are the success we've had in the after-school program. You saw that Mr. Feeney wrote a nice letter of support. But this year, the 4th grade group, 100% of those kids increased their reading level by at least 1 grade. Now that's pretty remarkable considering some of these kids have been struggling for so long, and we really feel great about that because a kid who cannot read will never succeed, and we know that. Now the 5th graders didn't do quite as well, but we're hoping that you know, there were increases, but it wasn't 100%. So we're continuing to work that way. We work with the school to get a certified instructor to really promote reading because we think that's a key skill that every child needs. Some of the other things that we did this year we tried to do a full year camp, a summer camp. It wasn't as much fun as our Mad Science camp we did a couple years ago, but there was more stress on academics. So we only had about 15 kids that really stuck it through the summer, and I'm not sure that long of a summer is really what the Oldsmar kids at Westminster need. But we're working closely with the school this coming school year to do something a little bit different in terms of how we approach the academic portion, and I'm really excited. Mr. Feeney's pretty innovative, and so am I. So the whole thing is about success for the kids. As you know, we also did 132 kids for Christmas for Oldsmar, 184 for the backpacks. Those are critical needs for a lot of these families. We work very closely with Oldsmar Cares on certain projects. Their project for Backpack Buddies, we're working closely with them. Brenda and I are meeting tomorrow. We have access to some food that we can share with them for the program that will keep their costs down and be able to do that, because we know we've already done it in Safety Harbor. We know there's a lot of need out there for kids who are on free and reduced lunch. What do they do on the weekend? What do they do? Well, we provide already 30 backpacks filled with food in Safety Harbor. So we're working with Brenda to see how we can start that program here. Other than that, we continue to do all the same similar things that we've done in the past. We have food, we have diapers, we have baby wipes, we have all that kind of stuff. We help people apply for food stamps. It's all about helping people improve their lives and achieve self-sufficiency. So that's kind of where we're at. I tried to, and I will work with Jerry to make sure that we have the mapping correct. I'm not sure how we can work that, but most of the people we serve do not live in the unincorporated areas. They are actual Oldsmar residents. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah.
I think the academic part of that is very important. When you work with the schools, do you work with the school over at Westminster, or do you work at the school?
At the school, at Oldsmar Elementary. That's where our program is. Our summer program has been at Westminster because Oldsmar Elementary hasn't been open in the summer for us to use.
Can you give us some kind of report? I know you're giving a report now, but give us some more in-depth thing about what you're doing at the elementary schools. I think that's important.
Okay, yeah, I can
It's
bring back,
important to
once
the
we
kids,
start
it's
in
important to the
October. How about I come in December and give you an update on where we are with the kids and what they're stressing? Is that what you're kind of looking for?
Well, I'm impressed about the reading part of it.
Okay, okay.
Because, kids are too busy doing this today, and they can't read a book. And
That's all we give them to read.
You have a major problem.
Actually, I realize that. Now, one of the reasons I had asked for iPads before is that there are some reading programs on the iPad that we utilize with our kids in Safety Harbor that we wanted to incorporate here. But Mr. Feeney is giving us a smart board, so we'll be able to do some other things with that. And we have a lot of books. And we give them
But
books.
if you give us kind of a report
Yep,
on
I can
what
do
you
that.
do at the school, because I think that's very important.
Okay, and maybe I can get Mr. Feeney to join with me and we can
That'd
do
be
a
great.
presentation together. Would that work?
Mm-hmm. That'd be great.
Anything else?
No,
No, thank you.
Thank you very, very much. We really do appreciate your support, and we hope that we're able to make a difference for the residents in Oldsmar.
Well, Safety Harbor's meeting won't be as fun as ours, but enjoy it.
Yeah, no, yours is much better. I'd rather stay here.
Thank you. Anybody else in the room like to address the council? Yep. Oh, trivia?
Jerry Antozzi, 509 East Shore Drive. I'd like to announce the volunteer orientation meeting this coming Saturday, September 6th at 10 a.m. We'd like anyone in the room or watching to come to the orientation and learn to volunteer at the museum. We have a good time, and we're a nice group to get to know, and you learn the history of the town.
How many volunteers do you have, roughly?
A solid that come throughout every week, about a dozen.
That's great. Good.
But we need more.
You should answer it, not enough.
That's right. It's not enough. We need more. Good, good. And there won't be another council meeting before our next speaker, so I'd like to announce September 13th, which is 2 Saturdays away. Ed Manning is going to be our speaker. He is going to tell his experience as a longtime resident Oldsmar, and plus he was a civic leader. He was on city council, and has raised his family here, and he's been involved with different organizations in town.
He was a member of the chamber. He was head of the chamber when they started Oldsmar Day.
Right, and he was president. And you know what? He was, a little trivia, he was the judge of a swimming event on Oldsmar Days. Did you know they must have swam in the bay?
They used to swim from here to Safety Harbor. You can't do that anymore.
No, you can walk most of the way.
That's a little,
What did
yes.
Roger's son want it one year back in the early 70s?
You almost had to
He
do it.
swam to Safety Harbor and back over.
And one,
Can't
yeah.
do it anymore.
Okay. Well, a little bit of trivia. I I went to 2 council meetings and everything on light rail and buses. So I've been with Fran up in the cataloging, and it's very interesting. I came across a 1924 confidential sales manual and questionnaire by Harry E. Prettyman. So it's 1924. And at first it's a questionnaire, so it's asking where's Oldsmar, and he's saying it's 15 miles from Tampa, 21 miles from St. Petersburg, 15 miles from Clearwater. But then he goes on to say that we have palatial Pullman buses that leave the Tampa and St. Petersburg offices of Harry E. Prettyman daily, converging visitors to Oldsmar free of charge. Now, back in 1924, I looked out in another section, there was the Oldsmar Transportation Company that operated buses between Tampa and Oldsmar, leaving both points every hour on the hour.
That did not happen.
That's what he said. There's one more. We talk about light rail, and the question was, has Oldsmar a railroad station? Yes, the Seaboard Air Line Railroad with passenger depot and freight warehouse. A site has been selected and plans and specifications for the new passenger depot are now in the hands of the architect. So they were ahead of their time, 1924.
He wasn't ahead of his time. He was a master liar.
Oh, Jerry, let's give him credit. We have a button right down in the museum
Yes,
with his
I
name.
know.
I know, you donated it. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry.
Okay.
Because I'm going to take it around and bang the gong with that. I don't care if it's right or not. If it was on the internet in 1924, it was real.
It's not on the internet, but I do have it on my phone.
This is the guy, I have original a little sales book that he put out for his salespeople.
That's what I looked at, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that's why I took pictures of. It's in the city
A little tiny
storage.
thing. Is that where I can't find that?
I can tell you, Jerry, where it is. Come and see me later.
Well, that's one I gave the city.
That's right. No, it's with the city. It's not with our museum.
Know that. But anyway, in this sales magazine, he says, now the most important thing you do as a salesperson, don't lie.
That's right. That was the
He's the one
beginning of
that
it.
put the little gold flecks in all the lots down here and filled the oil cans up every night that we had oil here in town.
So,
Thanks, Jerry.
okay, thanks.
Thank you, Jerry. Anybody else in the room? Yep. Dale.
And that would be Renbjor. Can you say fjord?
We don't want to cut into your 5 minutes.
Norwegian language lesson. Renbjor.
Renbjor.
Renbjor 403
Dale
Arlington.
Renbjor.
When you call me up on item 4, you'll get the name right.
Renbjor.
All right, I have here attachment A, scope of services for the City of Oldsmar Watershed Management Plan update that you guys talked about a month ago. I think you approved this. I'm sure you don't have a copy in your hand like I do. But on page 2 of 17, it said, Watershed Evaluation Project Development. The consultant will attend a formal kickoff meeting at the city to discuss and review project scope. It is anticipated the city will provide the following data. Did you have this kickoff meeting yet?
I'm not sure. Yes.
Too late for me. Item 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth bullet point, known trouble spots or reports of public concern. And I assume that you've talked to them about points of public concern, which brings me to why I'm up here, besides the fact that I usually don't come to these meetings because I work Tuesdays. On Tuesday, June 21st, 2011, I attended this meeting and I said, Dale stated he watches videos of city council meetings. He noticed the last 3 meetings and come forward to discuss State Street ditch. While he realized the culverting of this ditch is financially impractical, he asked about the possibility of installing guardrails. Ring a bell, anybody? Mm-hmm. Renbjor referred to a 1997 memorandum from Vice Mayor Sandler regarding guardrails on Buckingham Avenue and Lee Street to Lafayette Boulevard, which are paid out of the Streets Division operating budget, cost of $16,582.20. This ditch is much smaller than State Street. To alleviate some of the residents' safety concerns, he feels a guardrail should be installed at least on one side. Ronecker, where are you, stated he thinks it's a good idea and staff can look into it. Evidently, since 2011, I don't know if you've looked real hard, but I think that applies to reports of public concern on your real cool management plan update. So is there any initiative toward culverting State Street ditch? I didn't see it in your budgeting here for the watershed LMS summary from last meeting. And I don't see it on the budget for till 2030. And I don't see that the staff looked into it since 2011, so.
State Street Bridge, that ditch, I don't think that'll ever be covered or culverted.
How many cars have been in it?
I don't know, but.
How many kids could get washed down there?
I don't.
That's what I said the
That's not the
last
city
time.
of Oldsmar. That's Swift Mud and who else, Bruce?
You culverted part of it. From just past Arlington, you culverted to Lafayette when you cut through the road for
That Bruce.
Wellington.
Well, I wouldn't say it would never happen. It's not in the 6-year capital improvement program. There's no immediate plans to do that.
Let's come up with another 16 grand, or take that guardrail, like I said, 2011, put it down on State Street. This ditch is that big on Buckingham. And, you know, it's like nobody's going to get hurt driving into that, but someone's going to get hurt driving into State Street. Now, and I didn't want to annoy you all too much because I want your approval for item 4. But 2011, you know, no movement. Yeah, I got your staff to gallantly dig this out for me because you can't search agendas on the website. And it's like, I didn't think it was that long ago. I came up and asked you all about it.
I know.
So can you all make a move?
He's making notes, so.
And I think that under this wonderful management plan, it's an ideal opportunity to either culvert or something, get Swift Mud to play with it. I don't, what's this all about? It's safety concerns, right? Watershed.
That's part of it, yeah.
So I if I didn't work Tuesday, I'd have been down here and said, hey, I got a public concern, the State Street ditch. That guy gets real deep when it rains. And kids play in it, and that culvert's open to the Lafayette swale that goes underwater, underground. If a kid get washed into that, it would be heck to pay. My language. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Dale. Thank you.
Anybody else in the room? I thought I saw another hand, but maybe not. No? Seeing nobody else, we'll close the citizens' open forum. Our first item of action is the consent docket. We have 2 items. Renew the interlocal agreement for professional planning and mapping services with Pinellas Planning Council. The second item, approve work order with Jones Edmunds for the Water Reclamation Facility screw press dewatering design, which we were educated on last time. 20% solids now instead of 4%. I quizzed him. So does anybody wish to pull anything?
No. Nope.
Not need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Thank you. Next is the City of Oldsmar presentation of the business of the quarter, and that will be me. Michael, you want to come up? Sure. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want. It's all part of the process. These are always fun. I remember we've had this discussion back when Mayor Ronecker was here, and we've been doing this for quite some time, as to acknowledge businesses. You can come over here. I don't bite, I don't think. Unless you do. I'm not sure. Yeah. We can stand a little further apart. That's fine, like this. And there are a lot of businesses in the city of Oldsmar, and we were told one time that we thought that at some point we would run out of businesses, and once a month, we go out, myself, the city manager, and the chamber members go out and we meet businesses, and we continue to be impressed with the number of businesses, both long-term and new businesses that continue to come to the city of Oldsmar. And Michael has been here quite some time, and it's my honor and pleasure to present him with the third quarter Business of the Quarter Award, Amici's Catering. Michael Lamando, did I say that? Yes. Owner and founder will accept the award. Michael founded Amici's. You'll probably see the vans driving around 31 years ago after completing college with the goal of developing his business based on quality customer service and attention to detail. He moved his growing business to Oldsmar in 1997 to be more centrally located to his business, which was serving clients in our Tri-County footprint. Over time, Amici's grew from that shoestring to sales of over $1.7 million annually, which is great. Mike has recently decided to prepare for a growth spurt by purchasing his own building and adding space. We were just recently there, a beautiful operation, and hopefully you will have it open very soon. He has decided that Oldsmar will remain his headquarters due to access to business and the relationships he has built over the years. Amici services large corporate events and counts companies like Nielsen as key to their business base, and for several years, Amici's has provided the German food for our annual Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce Oktoberfest, which has also grown to be the largest in the Bay Area. But Amici's sweet spot is weddings, where the attention to detail comes in 20 days. Little inside joke most of you already know. Mike and Amici's have been identified as the bride's choice for the last 4 years in Wedding Wire, and for the last 6 years they have been honored as the best of the Bay in the prestigious Knot magazine, as in Tie the Knot. Mike and his staff also get involved in charitable events at places like Ruth Eckerd Hall and the Vinoy in support of education in the community. Amici's is currently participating in Mission I Do, which is a $25,000 dream wedding gift for a wonderful veteran or service member. Awesome. They will provide the wedding dinner and are participating with other local businesses to provide this dream wedding to a local wounded veteran that will be selected at random. This winning couple will be announced on September 10th, that's next week, 2014. Amici's is yet another outstanding example of the great businesses we have in our community, representing both quality and diversity in our business space. I am honored to present the award to Michael Lamando and thank him for committing to Oldsmar for a long time. Congratulations. Oldsmar Business of the Quarter Award of Recognition presented to Amici's Catering Cuisine 2014 third quarter.
Thank you. Just like to take this opportunity to thank everybody here so much for this award. I made the decision to move over to Oldsmar back in '97 from a 1,000 square foot space to a 4,500 square foot space, and I've watched the city grow incredibly, and I've also been able to grow my business as well with the help of the chamber and the city. Everybody's been so supportive. You know, Jerry's been really instrumental in helping me out a lot, and of course Doug and Bruce came over to the new business the other day, and hopefully we'll get that open full force here pretty soon. But thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
congratulations.
Thank you
Yep.
very much.
And we were recently, as he said, in his facility, and quite impressive. You know, with all the cooking shows you have on TV, my mind and the chamber's mind were running through about what we could do in this kitchen and how we could have cooking contests. And yeah, we got to figure it out. So he's set up great there. And the 20-day reference I gave to was that Amici's is catering Ann Stefan's wedding in 20 days. While you can hang out if you want, I know she's picked out cupcakes and everything, so. Yeah. So congratulations. That was item number 3. We'll go ahead and skip over to item number 5. Item number 4, consider appointment of Dale Renbjor as an alternate member of the planning board.
He's probably never going to get it right.
I'm not.
The J is like a Y, Mr.
Renbjor.
Beavis, did I get that name right?
Yep, as opposed to Bevis, right? Renbjor.
Yeah. Any questions you have of me? I don't have any of you.
No, I think it's great. We always say that it's nice to have people volunteer, and you go to our volunteer dinner, and it would not be possible without people like yourself stepping forward. And we do appreciate your comments on other things in the community as well, because we can't see and remember everything.
So I'm on the Board of Adjustment as an alternate, and now I'm on the Planning Board. If I join another board, would you rubber stamp me so I don't have to come in here?
We're actually working on that because we have met.
Saw it on TV.
Oh, you did? Yeah, we're working towards that.
Here I be.
Yeah. Well, we had a lot of turnover of council and things, so it's nice. But yeah, we're definitely working on that.
Yeah, I'm a stranger in town.
I need a motion to approve.
Got it.
Oh, now you jump in. Second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Item number 5, consider moving Sean Osborne from alternate member to full member of the planning board. Hi, Sean. How are you?
Hello, Sean Osborne, 555 Lakewood Drive.
Good. And we are working towards that. We found that we were seeing repeat faces, and which is nice because people want to continue to serve on the volunteer board. So we thank you for that. Do we have any questions for Sean?
Just thanks.
My pleasure.
Motion?
Yep.
Second? Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, Sean.
I sat out this meeting with you and Jerry here.
No, you were the first one.
Next is the National Drive, Proclamation for National Drive Electric Week. Estefan Baza, if you would come up.
Yay. A nice one-year anniversary present. Yes, ma'am. It is a proclamation for National Drive Electric Week, whereas September 15th to 21st, 2014 has been designated as National Drive Electric Week throughout the United States to educate our citizens about the benefits of plug-in electric vehicles and to promote their adoption. And whereas the City of Oldsmar is dedicated to being a leader in the use of clean energy, establishing policies and programs that conserve energy and promote sustainability, and whereas petroleum-fueled vehicles are responsible for over 50% of our local greenhouse gas emissions and are a contributing factor to air pollution and eliminate change, threatening the health of our citizens and sustainability of our planet. And whereas the City of Oldsmar was the first municipality in the Tampa Bay region to install electric vehicle charging stations, and whereas the imbalance between gasoline resources and worldwide demand is escalating, gasoline prices to levels that overburden commerce, hurt economic growth, and cause hardship to our citizens. And whereas the transportation sector needs support to move forward toward adoption of clean energy technology, including plug-in electric vehicles that reduce our dependence on foreign fuels and support a healthy environment and economy. And whereas the City of Oldsmar has partnered with the Nova Charge and the Sierra Club to establish Drive Electric Tampa Bay and will be officially host of the Drive Electric Day on Saturday, September 20th, 2014. Now, therefore, I, Doug Beavis, Mayor of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, do hereby proclaim September 15th through 21st, 2014 as Drive Electric Week in the City of Oldsmar, and call upon all residents of this great city and throughout Tampa Bay to join me in supporting the aims and goals of this worthwhile effort, dated this 3rd day of September, 2014, Doug Beavis, Mayor. That to you. Thank you. And I'm sure you can give us a little detail on what's going on the 20th?
Yes, sir. Can I invite Sierra Club and Nova Charge?
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor, for the proclamation. A lot of hard work went into this through our partners, Sierra Club, Nova Charge, and the City of Oldsmar. We're really trying to make this a unique event. We're experimenting with different initiatives. We're hoping to please and surprise everyone with it. There's been great support with it, not only within the city, but regionally. We have some of our main sponsors are Green Tampa, City of Dunedin, Hillsborough, Environmental Protection Commission, Patel College of Global Sustainability at USF, and we're already looking forward to next year and hosting it here in Oldsmar.
Nice. We love that.
Hi, I'm Phil Compton. I'm regional representative for Sierra Club Florida's headquarters in St. Petersburg. This is the fourth time that this event has happened. First time in Oldsmar. This is a regional event, so you're going to have people coming from all over the Tampa Bay area to your town to see what a wonderful place it is. And it's an honor to be here in a city that was founded over 100 years ago by a gentleman who was a pioneer in the automotive field. And here you are, pioneers in the automotive field with this century's technology. So you're in the cutting edge, just as you always were back then. And it's wonderful to be here. This is a very important thing for Sierra Club nationally. And here in Florida, we are leading the way to making sure that people understand that they have a new choice where they can fill up their tank for $1 a gallon. We think it's great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Helda Rodriguez with Nova Charge, and I want to thank the council and the city of Oldsmar for the tremendous amount of support that Nova Charge has had. We're thrilled to be headquartered here in Oldsmar and are looking forward to this event. I was just ecstatic when Estevan brought the idea to me, and I couldn't think of a better place to bring this national event. And we are excited about both the sustainability factor as well as the electric vehicles. The fact that we've had so many Oldsmar businesses step up to participate, and that this is a completely nonprofit event. And again, the monies will stay in the community, and we are donating everything to the Holiday Sharing Fund for the kids.
Nice.
I have a formal invitation for you to be part of our event, and we would love for you to attend.
Absolutely.
And kick off the event, hopefully.
And I'd also like to invite Vice Mayor Norris as someone who has been driving the drive and not only talking the talk, but driving the drive for some time to also speak at this event on the 20th.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this.
Probably going to push me out of the way.
Well,
You could get an electric car by then.
That's awesome. And if they want information on it, do we have it on our website where people can find out about the event?
Yes, sir. It's the website's called driveelectrictb.com. Or I'm sorry, I'm being told by city's clerk office that it's not called that. But yes, there's more information. There's more information.
Do we have it at myoldsmar.com? Can they get it there from that? Or no?
It's on the calendar right now. There'll be a banner ad, and they'll put a news and notice on it there too.
So they can just go to myoldsmar.com and find it?
And our Facebook, we have a Facebook page.
Facebook account, Twitter account, and we have an actual website as well.
We'll get it all out there. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so we can.
Look at her.
She wants to photobomb?
We always do this.
Do
I would photobomb this one. Here.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, before y'all leave, I gotta say something. I'm not gonna just sit here and let this go without being said. The proclamation is kind of egregious. It's REO started this city. He also started an industry that built this country, and it was built on gas, okay? Without gas, you wouldn't build anything that would make this environment any better. I'm not saying that going green is bad, because the way everything's going. America does not produce all the pollution on this earth. It's China and those people. And I get tired. And the Sierra Club blames America for a lot of stuff in their advertisements, okay? Without gas and coal, this country wouldn't be for what it is today. Now, does gas and coal pollute the air? Of course it does, okay? If we can have different energies, that's fine. But let's not forget, and telling a proclamation that gas is dangerous and killing everybody. Now, it didn't say that, but it indicated that it's harmful to everybody. Don't forget that this country was built because of the oil wells, because of the coal mines. A lot of people died from that. I understand that. But let's not forget where we came from. Now, let's not also forget where we want to go. I understand that too. But there's two sides to this thing. There's two sides to it. Now, the Sierra Club has done a lot. I give them credit for all of that. But there's another side to it. And please don't forget the other side.
Well, to end on a positive note, he also, Ransom Eli Olds also invented an electric car, and the only reason that they went
No,
to
he didn't
gas
invent the electric car.
He did invent one electric car, and the reason that
He
they
built
went to
an
gas was
electric
because
car.
gas
He
prices.
didn't invent the electric
Right,
car.
okay, so he built one, but the reason that they went to gas was because of the gas prices.
But it didn't
plummeting.
work. It didn't work. Okay,
Well,
go
it was
ahead.
because it was economically not feasible at the time.
Well, sir,
I have to stick up for electric cars, Jerry.
all I can say is that
Bought a car
I do
because of
recall.
me.
I do recall that at the time, I think about the time that R.E. Olds came here, that Henry Ford bought his wife an electric car. And what we're talking about now is the 21st century technology. We advanced in the 20th century over what we had in the 19th century, and no one would say we should go back to the horse and buggy. But this is about the new technology, the new cleaner technology that is creating jobs here in Oldsmar and all over America with the new technology that happens to be cleaner. So that's what we're telling the public about, that there is a new choice that they can have. They can have a gas-powered car, or they can have an electric
I
one.
agree with that. But let me ask you one question, and then I'll shut up, gang. If you closed all the oil wells in America and closed all the coal fields down, where would we go?
I guess a lot of new
Solar,
electric companies would be opening.
Where would, no, if you closed all the oil wells down tomorrow, and you close all the coal fields up tomorrow, where would this country be next year at this time?
Well, we would be
California.
We would be forced to innovate.
No one would do that, sir. Not even the Sierra Club would advocate for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So what we're talking about is a transition.
Don't forget what coal and oil has done for this country.
We're not, Jerry.
Nobody's forgetting that. And I mean, I think that.
Just like
it's-
we're never going to
Yeah, I
forget
have a
about what
gasoline
you've
car,
done
too.
for Oldsmar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
He gets all flustered sometimes, but he
It took him years to recycle.
he still climbs the telephone pole to make a phone call. So
See, Sean, if you didn't show up, you look like you'd be missing.
thank
That
you.
was funny.
Never had a controversial proclamation. We'll have to double check.
You read it, but
I know.
if you get down there and read this proclamation, it's irritating. It really is.
You said you were done. City attorney. How do you follow that?
Council members, item number 7 on your agenda is the second and final reading and public hearing of ordinance 2014-09, closing the firefighters' pension plan. I'm going to read it by title only. I'm going to ask that the public hearing be held, and then I would ask that you have a motion to table the adoption of the ordinance until the Division of Retirement gives us the authority to go ahead and complete what we're attempting to do here, as the Division of Retirement just hasn't done that just yet. So we need to wait until that's done. But I'll read the ordinance, we'll have the public hearing, and if we could have a motion to table it. It's not to a date certain because we don't know when the Division of Retirement is actually going to do that.
But it should be fairly soon.
Hopefully very soon. So ordinance 2014-09, an ordinance of the City of Oldsmar amending the retirement plan and trust for the firefighters of the City of Oldsmar, closing the retirement plan and trust for new employees, providing for participation in the Florida retirement system, providing for severability of provisions, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, and providing for an effective date. That was a reading of ordinance 2014-09 by title only.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody from the public wish to address this particular item? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing. I need a motion.
So moved.
And the motion is?
To table.
Motion is to table. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, we need a roll.
It would be best to do it by roll call vote, yes.
Councilmember Beaverland?
Yes.
Councilmember Mickey?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris?
Yes.
Mayor Beavis?
Aye.
Ordinance 2014-09, closing the firefighters' pension plan is tabled with 4 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you. Item number 8 on your agenda is Resolution 2014-17, authorizing participation in the Florida retirement system for future firefighters. We're going to go ahead and read this by title only, and you can adopt this even though we're waiting on the ordinance. Resolution 2014-17, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, declaring the city's intent to participate in the Florida retirement system for firefighters, providing that all firefighters hired on or after the effective date of the city's participation in the Florida retirement system shall become compulsory members of the Florida retirement system, authorizing the city manager to enter into agreements with the Florida Division of Retirement to accomplish the intent of this resolution, providing for withholding Social Security contributions from employees' pay, providing for payment of required Florida retirement system contributions by the city, providing for the establishment, maintenance, and submission of such records as may be required for participation in the Florida retirement system, providing that the city's decision to participate in the Florida retirement system shall be irrevocable, providing for repeal of all resolutions in conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. That was the reading of Resolution 2014-17 by title only.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the item? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Thank you.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item, consider approval of contract with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office for FY 14 and 15. Contract with the Sheriff's Office runs on the city's fiscal year, starting October 1. The new contract is in the amount of $1,557,949. That is an increase of 2.79% over the current year. It provides for the same staffing in terms of the number of deputies, including our traffic enforcement deputies and community policing deputies, and school crossing guards are included in this contract as well. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to respond to those. I recommend approval of the contract for law enforcement services for the new fiscal year.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this item?
No.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and Council, item 10. This will also be a public hearing on Resolution 2014-15, adopting a tentative millage rate for FY 2014-15. In July, the council authorized me to complete the certification of taxable value, proposing a millage rate of 4.05 mils. That is the rate that was included on the trim notices sent out by the property appraiser last month. This is the same millage rate as the current year, but actually the past several years, the millage rate has remained unchanged at 4.05 mils. I'll read the resolution by title only. This is Resolution 2014-15, a resolution of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, setting the tentative millage levy for the City of Oldsmar for the year beginning October 1, 2014 and ending September 30, 2015. That's the reading of Resolution 2014-15 by title only. I recommend its adoption.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to address this particular item? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing and need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 11, this will also be a public hearing on Resolution 2014-16, adopting a tentative budget for FY 2014 and 15. The proposed budget was presented to Council on July 21. A work session was held last month on August 12. I would point out that Florida statutes require a separate vote on the millage rate and the budget. Of course, you just approved the tentative millage rate with that last resolution. I'd also like to announce that there will be a second public hearing on both the millage rate and the budget, and that will be held on Tuesday, September 16th at 7 p.m. here in the council chamber. I'll read Resolution 2014-16, a resolution of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, adopting the tentative budget appropriations for the City of Oldsmar for the year beginning October 1, 2014 and ending September 30, 2015. Whereas the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida has reviewed the proposed appropriations for the City of Oldsmar for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2014 and ending September 30, 2015. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, in session duly and regularly assembled as follows. 1, that the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida does hereby tentatively establish the appropriations for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2014 and ending September 30, 2015 as follows. See attached Schedule A, pages 1 to 7. General Fund, $13,992,125. Public Safety Impact Fund, $160,000. Parkland Dedication Fund, $50,000. Transportation Impact Fund, $30,000. Community Redevelopment Agency Fund, $1,093,700. Debt Service, Veterans Memorial Park, $166,810. Capital Improvement Fund, $2,342,500. Water and Sewer Operating Fund, $7,777,590. Water and Sewer Impact Fund, $66,000. Stormwater Utility Fund, $841,075. Solid Waste Fund, $2,370,280. Total budget appropriations, $28,890,080. Section 2, all purchase orders for materials and services that remain open at year-end FY 14-15 are to become supplemental appropriations in the respective departmental accounts in the fiscal year ending September 30, 2016, unless canceled. Section 3, that this resolution shall become effective immediately upon adoption. That is the reading of Resolution 2014-16. I recommend its adoption. This does require a public hearing.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Does anybody from the public wish to address this particular item? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yes.
Passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and Council, item 12, consider adoption of Resolution 2014-18, revising stormwater rates. As we discussed earlier in the year and at the budget work session last month, this proposal would increase the stormwater utility fee $1 a month for a single-family home. And the stormwater fee is based on what we call an equivalent residential unit, or ERU, and it's related to a specific size of impervious surface. So for single-family homes, the current rate is either $3.50 or $4 a month, depending on whether they're in a location where the homeowners or property owners association is responsible for some of the stormwater. They have a lower rate. If they're in an area where the city is responsible for everything, they pay a little higher rate of $4. In both cases, the proposal would increase that $1 a month, so it would increase to $4.50 or $5 per ERU. Commercial properties pay an amount based on the amount of impervious surface that is on the property by that particular customer. So I'll read Resolution 2014-18 by title only. This is a resolution amending the stormwater management fee in accordance with the ordinances of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, and providing for an effective date hereof. If the resolution is adopted, it would go into effect October 1, the start of the new fiscal year. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to respond to those. I recommend the adoption of Resolution 2014-18.
This is not a public hearing. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Sorry, I was looking at some of the rate tables. Go ahead.
I see, oh, yeah, you do have Pinellas County on there. Okay, that's good. They're way up there. I don't know why Dale left so early. He should have stayed for this one. Maybe you ought to make a phone call and call him back. Let me ask you a question.
Who are you asking?
Bruce,
Okay.
council, whoever wants to answer. Is there a possibility that we disagree on this, but the stormwater ditch on State Street is an extremely important ditch on State Street. That's what allowed us to build the Burbank drainage system at what was almost $2 million.
I think it was between 1 and 2 million, yes.
And one reason we got the permits from SwiftMud is because we left that open because it could percolate. Okay. Is there a possibility that we could take part of this stormwater money and put those guardrails up there?
I think that is likely to happen in the future, yes.
Come on, you're not shocked by that, are you?
then I would, good, we need to call Dale back here and at the next meeting and let him know that. No, that's, you know, we started this in 1991 or 1992, I can't remember what it was. And I know I voted for it, but I kind of railed against it a little bit. But you know, over the years, that has proven to be very beneficial to this city. Now, we can have a heavy rain and we don't get flooded like other cities that are on the water get flooded. So if people can't see that, every time it rains 8 inches a day here, and they can still drive on our streets, that's what this does.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say that being a hydraulic engineer for so many years, it's not something that you do halfway. You want to make sure that there's a lot of components involved, and you mentioned a couple of them, swift mud and the likes of that, and you know, potential mitigation and things like that. And you also don't want to compromise capacity, you know, and that's the real kicker. And when you get into hydraulics in pipes versus open ditches, it's completely different. And I think that it's something that, you know, if we had more information, you know, kind of soup to nuts, what's involved, you know, from a minimum of guardrail to, you know, what the real fix is, I think we could potentially better, at least in my opinion, we could better address it and figure out where it goes and how we budget for it and things like that. So, I mean, that's kind of my 2 cents on that. I think I'm not a huge fan of open ditches. I kind of slipped into one time as a kid, and I didn't get sucked down the pipe, but it was a concrete lined ditch, and we went in there and played, and it was full of moss, and next thing you know, we're sliding down the thing. You know, luckily we were able to stop as kids. But
well, at that time, we did what we had to do to get the thing permitted.
Right.
And then, even at that, it took 2 years, almost, or a little over 2 years, to get this thing permitted. What we were doing what the state of Florida recommended all cities do on water, is put the water into polishing ponds.
Right.
And they fought us all the way.
Yeah.
Because we were going to dump stuff in the polishing ponds. And I said, well, isn't that what you want us to do? And finally, they had an argument between the two entities up there. One was
the Department of Environmental Protection.
Right.
That's what I was, yeah, EPC.
One of them finally said, you know what? After over 2 years, they're doing exactly what we want them to do.
Yeah.
Why are we fighting them?
That's back in the day when the agencies did nothing but fight each other for different rules and regulations, and so finally they put that thing to rest.
So we did what we had to do at that time.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that it's something, you know, safety is, you know, always a concern, at least for me, and I think I speak for the rest of the council, both on roads and things like that. So I mean, I think there's a big cost difference between guardrail and completely enclosing, but
huge.
Yeah, we just need to know, I think, what's involved so it can be properly budgeted down the road. So,
And I think this graph that was provided to us, the public can't see it, but it's a local stormwater rate comparison.
yeah, read some of those off. That's what I was looking at.
Hillsborough County is $1. Goes all the way from $1 all the way to the top, which is Clearwater, which is $13 and some cents.
40.
We're in the bottom half at $4 to $5. But my point was going to be that anybody that's driven in Hillsborough County and when it's raining and when it's flooding knows what happens when you only charge $1. And we should be very grateful that we're not at $13. We're, you know, at $4 to $5, and it's a necessity. We don't like to raise things, but in order to continue to have Oldsmar non-flooded streets, and I live not far from the bay, right down the road from the bay, and I'm grateful that I don't have to go through flooded streets whenever we have storms. So whoever's in charge of this is doing a great job. And just so the citizens know, we are still at the bottom half of what other municipalities charge. So I'm grateful for that.
And what's more important is Oldsmar is that we are draining 8,000 acres north of us.
Right.
Through us, yeah.
Yeah, it's all coming down here on top of us. So we do great. Now, as far as actually, what you want to look at is Tampa, not so much Hillsborough, because Hillsborough is more.
Yeah, that's true. City of Tampa
Tampa's the one.
but see, they're still at $3, and South Tampa is terrible. Flooding.
Yeah, and I have a question of Bruce. I know ours are enterprise funds, and we did the rate study, I don't know, a couple of years ago to figure out, because we were doing a lot of, seemed like robbing Peter to pay Paul sometimes, and really didn't have, and at that same time, we moved some staff around so that they were paid for out of the right funds, and we knew that we were charging the right amount, and I think we found out last year that we were still a little bit short. Are these all enterprise funds, and that's huge for Clearwater. I mean, that's, almost triple ours, but, are they
I believe
operating?
they are, yes.
Yeah, all
set
operate
up
the
that
same way,
way.
so.
Well, they're also a beachfront community
Yeah.
too, so.
Oh, we're Bayfront.
Yeah, the interesting part is, and Vice Mayor Norris makes a good point, is, from a groundwater standpoint, we're as close to the water as Clearwater Beach is, which my office is over there, and I see it. It costs me a car, but I see it flood all the time, and we're fortunate, knock wood, to be that, because anybody knows you dig down a couple of feet and you're already in the water. So, okay, we have a motion and a second, and we've had this discussion. Unless you're done, Jerry.
No.
Okay. Well, I never know. Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Passes 4-0. Thank you. Anything else?
That's all I have, thank you.
City Clerk, 20. Almost 9. I love embarrassing her.
You going to announce what happens in 20 days?
Yeah, I did it earlier. Where were you?
I know, I was asking her.
Oh, you're already making your argument for the resolution, right? Tomorrow will be 19 days until you didn't miss the whole Amicis thing where they're doing the catering, and I think we need to make you a DVD of the thing so you can watch them. Do you have anything? Nothing?
Nothing.
Not a thing, okay. City Council, item 13, approve excused absence for Councilmember Jim Ronecker, who's celebrating his birthday actually today. He sent me pictures when he was directly behind home plate for the game on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. His brother took him to, so that's happy birthday to him. He does a lot of things with his family, so I need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye, passes 4-0. Thank you. Next council comments. Councilmember Beaverland.
Sean, you have to come to all our meetings.
This guy cracks me up.
You should come to all our meetings.
I will.
I just said,
No, he does that stuff.
the fireworks were great again.
I have to say, they were probably one of the best we've ever had, so, if not the best.
It was good. Celebrate Oldsmar is always good to celebrate the city. I just want one other thing, is that I want to compliment Tom again on his prayers.
Oh, thank you.
I spent the first 6 years on council from 1990, and our city attorney back then said the same prayer over and over and over.
It hadn't come true yet, I guess.
Yeah.
It was the same prayer every council meeting for 6 years. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
For not only for your prayers, but thank you for a lot that you've done. Okay? And just thank you all for who you are.
I'll leave your door open. Councilmember McGee.
I didn't get to go out to watch the fireworks. I had to watch them from my house because if I left my dog alone while those fireworks were going off, I would have come home to Armageddon.
Yes,
So
I'm sure you would.
I've made that mistake before. I think it was last 4th of July. He happened to be at my parents' and I came home and any towel or like even the hand towel on the stove was on the floor. Like couch cushions were on the floor, like
Building
anything.
a fort? Was he building a fortress?
Laundry that was on top of the dryer was on the floor. I don't know, I need like a
Video.
video,
That would be
but I
fun.
think he tries to burrow himself to protect himself. But I did see also all the pictures that Linda took, and they were beautiful. I won't be at Drive Electric because I'll actually be out of town that weekend in Austin. And then I just wanted to mention for Tony Gross, the September 28th, the Gold Star Mothers and Families event. So I know she'll probably be here at the next council meeting to remind everyone. And then thank you to Linda for stepping in for me to be a speaker because I'll be my mother to Italy for 10 days during that time. So I won't be able to be at that event either. But that's all I have.
Vice Mayor Norris.
Well, we actually do think alike about a lot of things, Jerry, believe it or not. Because I'm going to ditto your prayer. I was thinking about that prayer. I don't know why that one got me. They all get me, but I was thinking the same thing. And happy birthday, Jim. We miss you. And everybody come to Drive Electric if you're going to be in town. You should come, Jerry.
You don't want to
might
scare
learn
people off.
something.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Maybe protesting on the corner.
Yeah.
And definitely kudos to the fireworks. I agree with the mayor. I think that they were just awesome. They were awesome. The timing, the colors, and I just took a bunch of pictures and just loved it. And I would also, on a personal note, like to thank everyone that prayed for my mother. She was in the hospital for 4 months, 4 different hospitals, many operations, touch and go. We didn't know she was going to make it. We actually did the whole DNR thing, which is nothing that a child wants to do for their parent. But she pulled through, and she is home, and she's doing great. She did come home to her cat taking off, which broke her heart. But a week later, and here's a tip for people. I don't know if people know this, but the company that did the microchip told my mother to put Hachi's litter box outside. And if he was in a 2-mile radius.
Put hot cheese.
I thought that was the
Oh,
brand.
hot cheese. I thought you were saying put hot cheese in the litter box.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, my mother's kitty cat is named Hachi.
Bad enough as it is.
Yeah, hot cheese.
My mother's kitty cat is named Hachi. So they told her to put his litter box outside because apparently if a cat is within 2-mile radius of their own litter box, they smell it and they come home, and he came home. So everything couldn't have been better, so our prayers have been answered.
You want to get rid of your cat?
A couple miles.
You definitely have to come to all our meetings.
2.1 miles away.
You brighten the place up. So thank you all for all your prayers is my main thing. So that's it, Mayor.
I only have a couple of things. Bruce and myself and Ann went today to, it was a 2-part event, the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber Trustee Lunch, which was great. And it was attended, the guest speaker was Dr. Susan McManus. And although we saw parts of it twice, it was really kind of interesting. It was a public-private partnership, which actually I guess they bid out. And the private part of it is Nielsen Media, obviously with their survey capabilities, but the public component of it, and Dr. McManus said that it would have been terrible to have to work with another university, but the public part was USF, and a lot of the USF students were there today, and they talked about election statistics and what they call it, the horse, what is it that she referred to it as, that it's not the wild horse or whatever it is survey that they normally do, where they're really trying to gauge.
It's not they don't survey the horse race.
Horse race, right, that's what it was, the horse race, and as issues-based and who it is, and they, the University of South Florida team worked with Nielsen Media to come up with the questions, and it was really interesting to see the numbers, and when you look at a primary like we just had versus a presidential election, who comes out, and although a particular race or section may have a bigger number, Republican, Democrat, or Independent, it really was kind of interesting to see how the numbers shook out for a primary versus an election, and the numbers that they produced today are going to be being published, and they're going to kind of do it in a trickle campaign, and it's, you know, based on each county, and, you know, the I-4 corridor, how important it is. It's interesting, I think she said, if I remember correctly, 2/3 of the money that's coming into the state for the election is coming from out of state, which is kind of disheartening, if you will.
What was this, a seminar?
It's called the Sunshine State Surveys, and it was, we were all invited.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd see you there, but it was really interesting, and we watched it. I saw some of the numbers twice, but I'm kind of fascinated by how the numbers are, and it really still is going to come down to, you know, the final day, the final thing, and they were talking about, and we all see them, the negative campaigning, and what's unfortunate about it, and I found this the last election, was that so much of the negative campaigning is done by kind of independent groups that aren't approved by either parties, and you know, one guy is slamming him for this guy for Duke Energy, and the other one's slamming, and you know, and they kind of cancel each other out, and that's what she said. You know, two negatives in this case don't make a positive. So there's a gentleman in California that is pushing the Duke Energy for one of the candidates. I won't say which one, but and he's prepared to spend as much as he needs to spend to push this issue home. And then the largest state contributor is the owner of the Miami Heat and Carnival Cruise Lines. So it's just really kind of interesting. But Florida, as they say, as Florida goes, so goes the country. And as I-4 goes, you know, so goes the state. So it was really interesting. I want to also mention that Patriot Day, AKA 9/11, we will never forget, is next Thursday, September 11th from 10 to 11. Oldsmar Firefighter Rescue and Palm Harbor firefighters will be doing the service Curlew Hills, Palm Harbor 9/11 Memorial. That's, of course, you know, Curlew Hills, 1730 Curlew Road. Public is welcome. Oldsmar Firefighter Rescues to 9/11 Memorial to pay their respects throughout the day. So we definitely don't want to forget September 11th. Although it was a tragedy, I think it was a real eye-opener for our country, that we are maybe the greatest country in the world, but that we are certainly vulnerable too. The only other thing I had, and I mentioned this to Bruce, and I've been thinking about this, and I kind of did it at the last meeting, and it was kind of interesting. We always do our council comments at the end, but oftentimes the crowds are somewhat sparse and only staff and volunteers, and I thought about possibly adding, and I want to keep it different than council comments, is to do kind of a mayor's minute at the beginning between citizens open forum and before we get into it, because there are sometimes, I drive around the city a lot and look at things that are going on. You know, we've got a lot of development that's going on. The sign finally went up at Ross. For those that don't know, I talked to Nick Pappas over the weekend. Thornton's finally signed on the dotted line, and they have 45 days to move the hair salon and the produce stand to the back and then start demolishing the buildings. And I mean, I think those are kind of things that people see going on in the community that I'd like to move kind of to the front. I want to keep it separate from comments about things that we might do, but these are things that are more community oriented that the people that are here might like to hear that may never watch it on TV. I'd like to see if anybody has any opposition or feedback on that. I can certainly input whatever you guys would like, or we can do it, but I want to keep it short and sweet, but kind of give a kind of an up. It's only twice a month, you know, and give an update of what's going on. We've got a lot of construction projects that are going on. You know, we've got things like the St. Pete Drive improvements and, you know, just stuff like that, just that's going on that they can take home with. Because we don't do our, what did we used to call it? Meeting at the library, what was that called?
Oh, the neighborhood
Advisory thing where we kind of share information.
Right.
Maybe this is an opportunity for them to take, because you always I get texts and emails about, hey, what's going on, you know. It'll be interesting to see how many people have not paid attention that when Ross and Aldi's opens, they'll be like, wow, when did that happen? You know, I mean, people sometimes bury their head in the sand, so if it's okay with everybody else,
No, that's a great idea.
I think, you know, and that way, before people leave, it's just kind of an update and short and sweet, but
Keep it under 3 minutes.
this is the mayor's minute, not Jerry's.
As long as he does it right.
Not Jerry's dissertation. So these are my these aren't open for comment. These are anyway. No, great. Thanks. I don't think I have anything else. We've Punch Drive Electric, and also Ed Manning at the Historical Society next Saturday. Celebrate Oldsmar was great. It was kind of interesting. I've got quite a few texts and emails and Facebook posts about, was there a helicopter flying over the fireworks or what was going on? And I was actually standing next to Dave from the chamber. They partnered with us and were droning the fireworks. So it was, it'll be interesting to see. I was standing watching, and we're literally, you know, not far from where they're launching them. And he's had the drone up in the fireworks, and he was trying to keep the drone from getting hit while his guy was spotting where the drone should go. But we flew it over the crowd, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of footage that we get out of that. So that was a lot of fun. So thanks to everybody that came out, and thanks to the city staff and volunteers that really, you know, put a great effort in. And it's neat to see how many people from outside the city of Oldsmar come, just because it's really kind of the only game in town that weekend. We've kind of been known for that. I think Channelside was the only other one to do something, but it's kind of neat. We've kind of become to own the Labor Day weekend fireworks, and the guy actually that does them, we're looking into it. He's going to be my council manager award. It actually lives in Oldsmar that does the fireworks. So, and he's been doing them for how long, Bruce?
15 years, probably.
Yeah. So, you know, it'd be nice to give him accolades. And
His first one, it was his daughter or his son's birthday.
yeah, and it's interesting. Tom said too, it's when you watch it, I mean, although it's great, you continue to see new things and new formations and new stuff, and, you know, ones that break off. So, you know, we don't just shoot a bunch of bottle rockets up into the air. It's a great event. So other than that, I don't have anything except for the approval of the tentative September 16th agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.